Deep in the heart of South America, the Cerrado stretches out like an endless ocean of wildlife. It's hidden from the world, but it holds countless secrets of beauty and variety. Here, where the sun meets the horizon in a golden painting, begins the story of a land like no other on Earth. The Cerrado isn't just a tropical savanna, it's a huge natural picture spread over millions of acres. Golden grasses dance in the sunlight and twisted trees stand like silent guards across the horizon. Every morning dewdrops sparkle on the grass tips, and the sunrise reflects on the plant leaves, announcing the start of a new day in this natural theatre. This area covers more than a fifth of Brazil, and it's the second largest ecosystem in the country after the huge Amazon rainforest. But it's still less known, even though it's so grand. From above, the Cerrado looks like a complex fabric of colors and patterns, where green areas mix with patches of red soil and rivers twist like veins of life in the continent's body. The Cerrado is an amazing mix of wide grasslands, twisted baobab and cedar trees, and rivers that wind like blue veins through the plains. Different environments blend together to create a rich home like no other. In every corner, the views change. Here's a thick forest, there's an open plain, and in the middle, a stream whispers life's secrets. In the open fields, giant termite mounds are scattered around like underground cities. They are a key part of the life cycle, providing shelter and food for countless creatures. Above these mounds, colorful butterflies dance, and lizards dart around quickly, while birds watch from above, looking for a meal. And along the riverbanks, thick gallery forests hug each other where branches intertwine and cast cool shadows. They hold fresh water springs and give life to special plant and animal groups. In these shadows, rare birds hide and build their nests among the branches, while snakes quietly slither through fallen leaves. Every part of the Cerrado supports an amazing variety of living things, from rare plants that can handle dry weather to unique animals found nowhere else on Earth. Here, small wild cats roam through the grasses, colorful frogs hide in temporary puddles, and wildflowers bloom after every rain. Underneath these natural scenes lies the Cerrado's red soil, rich in iron. It's poor in nutrients, but strong, acting like a giant sponge that soaks up rainwater and stores it deep down. This makes it the lifeblood for the whole area. In every dry season, the deep roots of plants hold onto this soil, drawing strength and the ability to survive from it. From here, 8 of Brazil's 12 largest rivers begin, flowing through plains and forests, feeding millions of living things, from the smallest insects to the biggest mammals. Along the banks of these rivers, herds of deer gather, and migrating birds come from far away to rest and find food. The underground water stored deep in the Cerrado comes out as clear springs. They water the thirsty lands and support an endless cycle of renewal and growth. On quiet nights you can hear the gurgle of water as it trickles between the rocks, carrying the promise of life for seasons to come. This water doesn't just stay in the Cerrado, it flows towards the Amazon and the Pantanal, connecting South America's greatest natural treasures and uniting ecosystems in a complex web of life. At every meeting point, new habitats are formed and countless types of creatures thrive. This is how the Cerrado becomes the beating heart of the continent's water cycle and a key pillar for life to continue. The rainforests, wetlands and plains all depend on it. Every drop of water here carries the story of a long journey through layers of earth, returning to give life anew. In this world, nature has created amazing creatures like the maned wolf, which moves lightly through the tall grasses. Its big ears catch the smallest sounds, and its eyes watch every movement on the horizon. At night, its howl echoes, showing its control over these vast lands. And the giant anteater, with its huge body and long tongue, moves among the termite mounds, looking for its food carefully and patiently, adapting to a harsh and unforgiving environment. Every move is planned, and every step leads it to a new food source in an ancient dance with nature. The plants here have developed amazing ways to survive. Some even bloom after fires, with colourful flowers opening up in the ashes, signalling the start of a new life cycle after every dry season or fire. Deep roots, thick leaves and seeds wait for the right moment to sprout again. After every natural disaster, life comes back strong. Green grasses sprout from the ashes, and trees regain their leaves in a scene that shows how tough the ecosystem is and how it can renew itself. In this place, there is no final death, but a new beginning waiting in every corner. Every morning, animals come out of their hiding spots. Birds begin to sing, and life moves in a careful balance between predators and prey, between plants and animals, in an endless cycle of natural balance. The huge variety of life is in danger. Every threatened species carries a unique story of how it grew and changed, and these stories could be lost forever if this land isn't protected. Every creature here is the result of millions of years of adapting to a harsh environment, and every loss is a loss of a whole world of secrets. The Cerrado story is a big tale of survival and adapting. Creatures and plants face tough conditions, reinventing themselves with each season in an endless cycle of life, death, and new beginnings. As the sun sets, the sky turns fiery colors, and a new night life begins, as nocturnal creatures come out to complete the life cycle. Understanding this wild heart of Brazil gives us a window into the careful balance that supports an entire continent. It reminds us that protecting this natural heritage isn't an option, but a must for life to continue on Earth. In the Cerrado, nature's greatness is seen in its best form, and life continues to challenge time, keeping its secrets in Brazil's hidden heart. In the heart of Brazil, the Cerrado beats as one of the world's greatest tropical plains. Life here dances to the rhythm of two very different seasons, the wet season and the dry season. There's no staying the same here. Everything changes constantly with the turning of the seasons. Colors shift, smells transform, sounds differ, and nature redraws its features with every raindrop or dry gust of wind. The Cerrado's climate isn't just a backdrop, it's the hidden force that shapes the lives of every living thing in this huge ecosystem. From October to April, the seasonal rains start to fall heavily. Dark clouds gather over the savanna, and the rains drench the land, turning the dry grasses into a lush green carpet. Rivers and streams swell, filling ponds and swamps, and water becomes plentiful everywhere. At this time, the smell of the air changes and the land becomes full of life. Sometimes the rains fall for hours straight. Thick fog forms over the plains, and the sound of thunder echoes among the scattered trees. During this time, plants grow at an amazing speed. Hidden seeds sprout, flowers bloom, and grasses spread. Birds and insects fill the air with their sounds, and frogs and reptiles come out from their hiding spots. Animals raise their young with plenty of food and water, and wildlife thrives in every corner. Rare flowers that only appear in this season open up, and butterflies and bees race against time to collect nectar. Insects come out of their long sleep and start building new nests in the moist soil. By the end of April, the rains start to fade away. The clouds disappear and the sun shines more strongly. The dry season begins, lasting from May to September. Temperatures rise a lot, humidity drops to very low levels, and the land slowly starts to lose its moisture. The smell of the air changes from a damp scent to a burning dryness, and the winds become hotter, carrying dust and dry seeds with them. The grasses turn golden, plants wilt, and rivers and streams start to shrink. Water becomes scarce, and the ground cracks under the harsh dryness. Dry winds carry dust across the plains, and life becomes harder with each passing day. Small ponds dry up, and the homes for frogs and fish become limited, forcing animals to adapt to the harsh conditions. In this tough season, animals start looking for new water sources. Birds fly long distances to find remaining ponds. Mammals follow dry riverbeds, and reptiles and insects go into burrows and hiding spots to reduce water loss. Some animals rely on morning dewdrops, while others eat juicy plants that store water in their tissues. Adapting is key to survival. Some animals migrate long distances looking for water and food, while others are active at night to avoid the heat of the day. Large mammals rest in the shade during the day and move at dawn and dusk. Every step is planned and every drop of water is precious. The fight for resources becomes intense as confrontations between predators and prey increase around the few water sources. Under the quiet surface, life in the Cerrado continues. Plants go into a resting state, keeping their seeds in the soil until the rains return. Animals slow down their activity, adapting to the harsh conditions. Every living thing patiently waits for the season of plenty to return. Some plants release chemicals to reduce water loss, while others rely on deep roots that reach underground water. The dry season brings the risk of natural fires, which sweep through the savanna and renew the land. Plants have developed thick bark to survive the flames, and some seeds only sprout after being exposed to heat. Animals run away or hide, then return to benefit from the new growth after the fire. The black ground after a fire becomes a fertile place for new grasses to grow, and insects and birds quickly return to use the renewed resources. The dry season is a true test of strength and toughness. Only the most adaptable creatures can survive and thrive. The struggle between predator and prey gets tougher, and every creature looks for a chance to survive in a harsh environment. Survival strategies appear in every movement, from hiding to smart hunting, from saving energy to using every available resource. This endless cycle of dry and wet, death and renewal is what gives the Cerrado its unique wild spirit. Each season brings new challenges and offers chances for growth and adaptation, reshaping the face of life in this ecosystem. The marks of past seasons remain clear everywhere, from burnt trees to renewed grasses and from animal tracks to new bird nests. In the Cerrado, every season is a lesson in adapting and enduring. Life here isn't just about surviving, but a story of constant change, where creatures and plants change with each cycle of rain and dry, and life continues to challenge the conditions year after year. The Cerrado's climate, with its big changes, is the secret to its huge variety and amazing ability to survive, where every raindrop and every gust of wind writes a new chapter in the epic story of wildlife. In the heart of the savanna, the cleverness of plants shines through as they face the toughest challenges nature throws at them. Here, there's no room for weakness. Every leaf and every root tells an amazing story of survival. The plants of the Cerrado, which might look delicate at first, are actually experts at staying alive. Over thousands of years, they've developed incredible ways to deal with droughts and frequent fires. In this huge open space, plants fight for every drop of water and every ray of sun, adapting to a harsh environment. These plants were shaped by harsh droughts and constant fires. The grasslands go through long periods of intense heat, followed by seasonal fires that sweep across large areas. To deal with these conditions, plants have grown small leaves or leaves covered in a waxy layer. This helps them lose less water and stay green even on the hottest summer days. Many trees have thick, corky bark, a natural shield that protects them from flames. It keeps the heat out and stops vital parts from burning. Some types can even grow back their bark quickly after each fire. This protective layer isn't just a barrier, it's the result of a long journey of change. Layers of cork build up year after year, becoming the first line of defense against repeated fires. Underground, deep roots stretch out incredibly far, looking for hidden water deep in the soil. These roots not only keep the plant steady during storms and dry spells, but they also store nutrients and moisture for long dry periods. Some plants send their roots out sideways for long distances, collecting every available drop of water, while others rely on fleshy roots that store water like small tanks, helping them survive in the toughest conditions. Some plants depend on fire as a key part of their rebirth. Their seeds are covered in tough layers that only break open with the heat of a fire. After that, they start their life journey again on the ash-rich ground. This plan makes sure that the seeds sprout in an area with no competition, where the leftover ash provides valuable nutrients that help the new generation grow quickly. This endless cycle of destruction and renewal creates a lively patchwork where burned areas mix with fresh green ones. Life thrives again with each season. With every rainfall, life springs from the ashes, and the black earth turns into a green carpet full of new growth, a sight that has repeated for thousands of years. The savanna has thousands of special plant types, from tall grasses to flowering bushes and giant trees. Each type plays a specific role in the ecosystem. Some provide shade, others produce rich fruits and seeds, while flowers help attract pollinators. Tall grasses offer shelter for young animals, flowering bushes attract insects and birds, and giant trees send their roots deep to hold the soil and stop it from washing away. The toughness of these plants is the secret to the savanna's lasting life. They form the base that all other living things depend on, making sure the cycle of life continues in this ever-changing world. In every season, the plants write a new story of strength and rebirth, standing as a testament to nature's power and creativity in facing challenges. At the top of the food chain in the Cerrado, apex predators stand as watchful guardians, observing every move in this vast savanna. Their presence isn't just a fleeting visit, it's the very heartbeat of the ecosystem. These creatures, with their strength and cleverness, create a delicate balance between life and death, deciding what happens to countless other kinds of animals. Apex predators aren't just hunters, they're nature's engineers, bringing order and preventing chaos, keeping the savanna full of life. The jaguar, master of shadows, sneaks silently along riverbanks, its steps barely heard on the wet mud. Its sharp eyes watch the water, looking for slow-swimming capybaras or tapirs coming to the shore. It hides in the thick grass, checking the wind, waiting for the right moment. And when the chance comes, it pounces like lightning, its strong jaws closing around its prey's neck, dragging it into the deep or among the trees to eat it away from curious eyes. Every successful hunt by a jaguar changes how the area works, reducing the number of large prey and giving plants a chance to grow again. The puma, with its quickness and flexibility, moves through the thick trees, carefully choosing its paths, watching deer graze or birds rest on branches. The puma doesn't just rely on strength, it uses its smarts and hunting tricks. It quietly gets close to its prey, hiding behind rocks or logs, then suddenly pounces, chasing the prey at amazing speed, changing direction easily among the trees and using its sharp claws to catch it. Sometimes the puma's path crosses with the jaguar's, and they exchange careful glances, each knowing the other's strength, avoiding direct fights and respecting each other's territory. As night falls, a new drama begins in the forest. The ocelot, that sneaky predator, comes out of its hiding spot, its eyes glowing in the dark, its ears catching the tiniest sounds. It moves lightly through branches and grass, getting close to rodents looking for food or birds sleeping on low branches. It watches patiently, slowly gets closer, then pounces with amazing speed and accuracy, its claws gripping the prey before it even knows what happened. The ocelot relies on surprise and constantly changes its location to avoid bigger predators, leaving its mark on the ecosystem by controlling the number of small prey. The maned wolf, tall with red fur, roams the wide grasslands of the Cerrado. It moves alone, watching the horizon with its sharp eyes, looking for mice or small birds hiding in the grass. It uses its long legs to cover distances quickly, quietly getting close to its prey, then pouncing lightly. Sometimes it stops to sniff the air, sensing other predators or finding food spots. The maned wolf avoids fighting with jaguars or pumas, relying on its speed and smarts to stay safe. The maned wolf is different from other predators. It's a loner, eating rodents and birds, but it also eats fruits like the wolf apple, which makes it a link between predators and plants. When it eats fruit, it spreads the seeds across the savanna, helping new plants grow and preventing one kind from taking over the ecosystem. This special role makes it a key part of keeping the many different kinds of life healthy. It connects the world of predators with the world of plants, making sure the cycle of life continues. These predators interact with other species in complex ways. They control the number of plant-eating animals, which stops too much grazing and keeps plants diverse. They also keep smaller predators in check, setting their territories and creating a lively balance among all creatures. If one of these predators is missing, the number of prey animals explodes, some plants disappear, and the entire food chain gets messed up. Each predator leaves its mark on the system, affecting the lives of dozens of other species, directly or indirectly. The presence of these top predators shows how healthy the ecosystem is. They make sure the savanna stays thriving, where animals and plants interact in a complex web of relationships, each kind relying on the other directly or indirectly, from the smallest insects to the biggest predators. In every corner of the Cerrado, there's a story of hunting, chasing, or a delicate balance between life and death. All thanks to these predators at the top. Protecting these predators means protecting the delicate balance in the Cerrado and making sure this unique variety of life continues where the top of the food chain stays strong and wildlife keeps growing for future generations. For every predator at the top is a guardian of the system and a guarantee that the cycle of life will continue in this grand natural theatre. In the middle of Brazil's huge savanna, the Cerrado stretches out like a sea of golden grass and scattered trees. It's home to gentle giants and really special survivors. Here, stories of how animals survive are everywhere you look. Every tree and every stream hides secrets about a tireless life where creatures learn to live with big changes in the weather and seasons. They find amazing ways to stay alive in this diverse place. The South American tapir, this quiet giant, moves through the thick tree shadows with sure steps. It has a big body and a flexible nose, kind of like an elephant's trunk. It uses its nose very well to pick ripe fruits and soft leaves from branches. When it's dry, it looks for hidden water sources and crosses small streams by swimming really well. It dips its whole body in the water to cool down and get away from the day's heat. The tapir isn't just a quiet wanderer, it's a real helper for the environment. Every fruit it eats and every seed it leaves behind helps the forests grow new plants. Its sharp senses, especially its sense of smell, keep it careful. It can smell predators from far away and quietly change its path, avoiding danger without leaving a trace. The giant anteater, with its strange look and body covered in thick fur, walks through the golden grass like a long shadow looking for its favorite food. It has no teeth, but it has a long, sticky tongue that can reach 2 feet. It breaks into termite and ant mounds, eating thousands of insects in just a few minutes. Its sharp front claws are not just for opening hard mounds. They're also a strong shield against any predator that dares to come close. In the early morning, the anteater follows the wind, using its strong sense of smell to find insect colonies very accurately, and when it gets too hot it looks for the shade of a tree or a wet spot to hide. It wraps its thick tail around its body to keep warm and rests until evening comes, then goes back to its daily adventure. The capybara, the biggest rodent in the world, lives a super social life by riverbanks and shrinking water areas in the savanna. They gather in big groups, and their members talk to each other with special sounds like whistles and grunts. These sounds send warning and comfort messages among the group. When it's dry, water sources shrink and there's more competition. But capybaras show teamwork, sharing small spaces and always staying close to water. Because they can swim and dive so well, they escape the sun's heat and predators. They can stay underwater for many minutes with only their nose and eyes showing, watching carefully what's around them. Baby capybaras learn to swim from their first days and find safety in the group where mothers and older males protect them from any danger. The Brazilian three-banded armadillo, one of the rarest and most mysterious creatures in the Cerrado, is a master of hiding and defense. At the first sign of danger, it rolls into a perfect ball, its head and tail disappearing inside its hard shell. It becomes a strong fort that's hard for any predator to break into. On quiet nights, the armadillo comes out to look for insects and larvae among the fallen leaves. It digs in the ground with its strong claws, loosening the soil and helping it to refresh. This animal, which is in danger of disappearing, faces big problems as its home shrinks. But it's still a symbol of being tough and able to change. It keeps going on its journey in the Cerrado, despite all the difficulties. In this complex ecosystem, each of these creatures plays a very important role in the web of life. The tapir spreads seeds and helps forests grow back. The anteater controls insect numbers and keeps the savanna balanced. The capybara protects water sources by working together. And the armadillo loosens the soil and brings life back to the ground. Their constant interaction creates a delicate balance where each species relies on the others in a never-ending cycle of giving and adapting. Their survival is a living sign of how incredibly diverse the Cerrado is, where stories of survival and adapting are woven together in a beautiful natural picture. In every corner of this place, the greatness of wildlife stands out, and tales of toughness and cleverness are told, showing the spirit of the wild in the heart of Brazil, far from human eyes, in a world that only knows nature's rules. In the heart of the Cerrado, the sky and grasslands stretch out like a living painting, bustling with over 900 bird species, each with unique shapes, colours and sounds. Here the paths of resident and migrating birds cross, creating a complex web of life that never stops. Every morning the savanna wakes up to the flutter of countless wings as birds spread out among the trees, swamps and open plains, each type playing a unique role in this natural show. The greater rhea, that huge flightless bird, roams through the tall grasses, watching its surroundings with careful eyes and relying on its speed to escape predators. The toko toucan, with its huge orange beak, watches the scene from above, picking ripe fruits and making its special sound among the branches. The red-legged suriema, known for its loud call and hunting behavior, roams the plains looking for insects and small reptiles, building its nests among the thick grasses where it hides its eggs from watchful eyes. The toucan, with its clever beak, picks fruits and scatters seeds throughout the forest, helping trees grow and forests renew. As for the rhea, it teaches its young survival skills, fiercely protecting them from any danger that comes close, to make sure its offspring continue in this changing world. Parrots, with their bright colours, gather in large groups on flowering trees, eating fruits and helping spread seeds, contributing to the savanna's plant life cycle. On the riverbanks, giant otters hunt in close-knit family groups while the kingfisher flies over the water, diving at lightning speed to catch its prey. Waterbirds, like herons and wild ducks, build their nests among the thick reeds and care for their young, in a rich environment full of life where their sounds mix with the gurgling water. The burrowing owl, which digs its nests in the sandy ground, watches its surroundings with sharp eyes and defends its young from predators. Blue parrots, like the hyacinth macaw, build their nests in high tree hollows and preen each other's feathers in social rituals that strengthen the bonds between flock members. Every bird adds a new layer of complexity and beauty to the savanna through their unique nesting habits and how different types help each other. Bird songs, from the chirping of small sparrows to the squawks of parrots, show how healthy and diverse the ecosystem is. Small birds, like tanagers, bathe in shallow streams, cleaning their feathers and getting ready for a new day of looking for food and building nests. Their daily activities, from finding food to building nests and raising young, keep life in the Cerrado balanced and make sure biodiversity continues for generations. The birds here are not just residents, but they are the beating heart and the living soundtrack of this wild savanna. In every moment of day and night, birds tell a story of diversity and harmony through their seasonal migrations, breeding, and how they interact with other plants and animals. Without them, the Cerrado loses its balance. They are the silent guardians of ecological diversity and the guarantee that life continues in this unique world. Even though it's super big, the Cerrado is facing more and more problems that put its delicate balance and special plants and animals in danger. In the middle of all this green land, a quiet fight is happening between nature and really fast environmental changes. Every tree, every plant, and every creature is under a lot of pressure, threatening their very existence. The native plants are under a lot of stress because of sudden environmental changes like long dry spells that dry out the soil and make it hard for plants to grow back, and strong storms that pull up trees and destroy the plant cover. In some areas, fertile lands are turning into dry, empty spaces, and giant trees can't stand up to the strong winds, while rare grasses wilt and disappear from the landscape. And with all these changes, new kinds of plants and animals that don't belong here are showing up. They spread super fast, taking over open lands and choking out the native plants, stopping them from getting light and water. Also, non-native animals sneak into the ecosystem, fighting with the native ones for food and shelter and messing up the food chain. This makes some creatures that used to rule these lands for thousands of years disappear. Natural fires, which used to be a part of life in the Cerrado, are now much worse and happen more often because of climate change. Fires start in the middle of the forests, eating up dry grasses and small trees, leaving behind black, lifeless land. Animals find themselves trapped by the flames, looking for a safe place, while smoke clouds rise and cover the sky. The damage lasts for many years after the last spark goes out. Famous animals like jaguars and maned wolves are facing more and more problems. Their areas are shrinking and becoming separated, making it hard for them to find food and have babies. This also makes them more likely to get sick and face environmental dangers. At night, the sounds of these animals echo through the Cerrado, looking for a new home, while wild spaces shrink and the fight for limited resources gets tougher. Changes in rain patterns are making rivers dry up and their banks wear away. Also, water quality is getting worse because of dirt and natural pollution building up. This threatens water life and reduces how much fresh water there is. Small fish and other water creatures find themselves stuck in shallow puddles, trying to survive in an environment that's changing fast. These threats aren't just local, they're a warning to the whole world. The disappearance of the Cerrado means losing one of the biggest places for different kinds of plants and animals on Earth, and environmental effects that go beyond the continent's borders. If these changes keep happening, it could cause whole ecosystems to fall apart, leaving a permanent mark on nature where the sounds of life disappear and fertile lands turn into a lonely silence. In the heart of the Cerrado, hope beats with each new sunrise, as life renews itself in this special ecosystem without human help. Dewdrops sparkle on spiderwebs woven between the native grasses, announcing the start of a new day of delicate balance between living things. Wildflowers, which only appear after seasonal rains, open their petals to welcome pollinators, giving insects and birds essential food in the cycle of life. In this natural scene, keeping different kinds of life safe shows up in the animal's own behavior. The maned wolf, a symbol of the Cerrado, sneaks quietly through the tall grasses, using its sharp senses to find small prey. This helps keep the numbers of rodents and insects in check. The giant anteater, with its long tongue, picks up thousands of termites every day, stopping them from spreading too much and harming plants. And the armadillo digs in the earth looking for insects, and with this simple act, it loosens the soil and helps plant seeds spread, which helps the plants grow back. Birds, in their many groups, play a big part in spreading the seeds of native plants as they eat fruits, making sure small forests and grasslands keep growing. Bees, visiting the bright flowers, pollinate plants, which lets them make new seeds. Small mammals like hedgehogs and wild mice dig their homes in the ground, making tiny living spaces that give protection and moisture to smaller creatures like insects and small reptiles, and they help air out the soil. Even seasonal fires, which seem bad at first, are part of nature's plan to keep things balanced. Fire-resistant plants, like some grasses and bushes, release their seeds right after a fire, and new green sprouts appear from under the ash, using the mineral-rich soil left by the fires. This cycle makes sure life renews itself and stops flammable stuff from building up, which lowers the risk of big, destructive fires. When the rainy season starts, natural ponds fill with water, and frogs and newts come out of hiding to have babies, laying their eggs in the temporary water. Fish, which live in small streams, use the seasonal floods to move through the flooded grasslands, spreading out and having a better chance to survive. These things make sure the cycle of life continues and provide food for many birds and mammals. Native trees like the baobab and cedar trees drop their seeds at certain times of the year, and the wind carries them across the savanna. Some of these seeds need the heat of a fire or the moisture of rain to sprout, and then small seedlings start to grow, protected by the grasses, and they use the rich soil left from past seasons. The connections between predators and prey are at the heart of nature's balance. The jaguar, the top predator, hunts the capybara, the world's largest rodent, in a scene of waiting and struggle. After the hunt, vultures come to eat what's left, stopping diseases from spreading and putting nutrients back into the soil, which feeds the plants and completes the circle of life. Under the ground, plant roots connect in a complex network that holds the soil in place and stops it from washing away, especially during heavy rain. Fungi and tiny living things work together to break down fallen leaves and branches, making important nutrients for new plants to grow and making the soil richer year after year. Every natural interaction, from the smallest insects to the biggest predators, is part of a complex web of ongoing environmental actions. Plants, animals, and fungi work together quietly, proving that healing and renewal are possible without human help, and that nature can protect itself if given the chance. With every sunset over the savanna, and with every seed carried by the wind to new land, hope for the Cerrado's future is renewed. Here, true conservation is shown in the actions of the creatures themselves and in the ecosystem's ability to renew and thrive. So this special home remains a safe place for wildlife for generations to come. The Cerrado, this huge area of Brazilian savanna, isn't just a pretty view. It's like a living museum of how things have changed over time, and it's full of amazing plants and animals. Here the golden sun shines on tall grasses that sway in the wind. Old trees with deep roots dig into the red dirt, looking for water deep underground. Everywhere you look, you can see how amazing life is. From the giant rhea bird running across the plains, to the deer hiding in the bushes, and the reptiles crawling among the rocks. Every creature here has a special story of how it survives. In the Cerrado, all the different kinds of plants and animals are connected in a complicated way. Birds need the many bugs that come out when the first rain falls. Mammals find their food among the many plants. And reptiles use the warm rocks during the day and the cool rocks at night. Even the smallest creatures, like ants and bees, are very important for helping plants grow and spreading seeds. This makes sure that life keeps going. The rivers that start deep in the Cerrado flow clearly between the grasses and trees. They give clean water to animals that come from everywhere. These rivers aren't just important for life here, but they also give life to millions of people and animals far away because they feed the biggest rivers in South America. Protecting the Cerrado means keeping this careful balance. Every tree that's cut down and every area that's burned can cause the whole web of life that has grown over millions of years to fall apart. The huge variety of genes here helps plants and animals deal with changes in weather and natural problems. It also makes sure that life keeps going even when things are hard. Every season a new cycle begins. Small seeds sprout after natural fires, covering the plains with a green carpet. Migrating birds come back to build their nests in the branches. Animals follow their old paths across the savanna, looking for water and food and bringing the ecosystem back into balance. In the middle of Brazil, the Cerrado beats like a heart, full of life. It hides the secrets of how things survive and renew themselves. Here, different kinds of plants and animals learn from each other and keep changing. It's a never-ending story of fighting and working together. The story of the Cerrado reminds us that every ecosystem is a priceless treasure, and keeping all the different kinds of plants and animals safe is the only way to make sure life continues on Earth. Every living thing, no matter how small or big, helps make the balanced and beautiful picture that gives our world its spirit and strength. As the sun goes down, the Cerrado is bathed in a soft light, and shadows start to stretch over the wavy grasses. The air changes and the heat of the day fades, replaced by a cool breeze that carries the promises and secrets of the night. The sounds of the day slowly fade, and the symphony of nightlife begins. From among the thick grasses and under the tree shadows, night creatures come out of their hiding spots, each with its own tune in this natural concert. The night begins with the mysterious calls of the nightjar, a small bird that makes its special sound echo in the distance as if announcing the start of the night show. The nightjar's camouflaged feathers blend smoothly with the twilight colours, making it almost invisible except to those who look closely, like a shadow moving among shadows. The nightjar relies on its sharp senses, catching the flutter of moth wings and other insects in the air, swooping down like lightning to get its meal in complete silence. In a quick moment it catches its prey in mid-flight with unmatched precision, adding a new note to the night's symphony. Below, among the thick bushes, the armadillo moves slowly and carefully, dragging its body covered in a hard shell over the dry leaves, making a faint rustling sound. Its shell shines under the moonlight as if it's wearing a silver armor that protects it from the surprises of the night. The armadillo starts digging tirelessly, digging into the soil with its sensitive nose, looking for insects and larvae buried deep down. Its strong claws turn the soil, making a muffled sound that mixes with the other night sounds as it continues its tireless search for food. The armadillo's role isn't just about finding food. It also helps air out the soil, which makes the plants healthier. These plants depend on this careful balance. Thanks to these night activities, the Cerrado plants stay healthy, and the cycle of life continues without stopping. Above, the barn owl makes its way through the air, its wings flapping silently, making no sound in the quiet. With its wide eyes, it scans the ground with a sharp gaze, catching the smallest movements among the grasses. It looks for small rodents that sneak around carefully, waiting for the right moment to swoop down silently, adding a new rhythm to the night's melody. The owl's ability to hunt in almost complete darkness is the result of thousands of years of getting used to things, making it a symbol of skill in the night world. Elsewhere, the maned wolf rules the savanna, moving lightly through the tall grasses, almost unheard. Its long legs allow it to cross rough terrain, and its dark mane gives it a majestic and mysterious look. Its sensitive nose leads it to ripe fruit or to a small animal hiding in the grass, or even to a colony of insects. Its varied diet makes it a key part of the ecosystem. It controls the number of prey animals and spreads seeds, helping to keep the variety of life going. Every step it takes leaves a mark on the delicate balance between creatures, reshaping life in the Cerrado. High in the trees, the tiny pygmy owl watches every movement below, its large eyes shining in the dark. It picks up the smallest vibrations and gets ready to pounce on any prey that comes into its area. Despite its small size, it's a skilled hunter, attacking insects, small birds, and even small mammals. Every successful hunt helps keep the night food web balanced. Its presence makes sure this balance continues, so no one type takes over another, and the night stays rich with its variety. Suddenly, the rustling of leaves breaks the silence, a sign of new movement in this night theatre. A family of capybaras comes out of the water, their large bodies shining under the moonlight, and their eyes reflecting the night's glow. They gather quietly on the riverbank, watching their surroundings carefully before they start to graze. These gentle giants graze on the green plants, making soft chewing sounds that blend with the other night sounds. Their night activities keep the grasslands healthy and stop plants from growing too much, which allows other creatures to use the environment. With every move, the capybaras create new paths in the grass, which other animals follow on their night journeys. These paths shape the landscape in hidden ways, but they are very important for life to continue in the Cerrado. As the night goes on, the activity picks up, and the savanna comes alive, with sounds and movements mixing in a never-ending symphony. From among the wet grasses, frogs start to make their calls, their different sounds filling the air, weaving a group melody that announces their presence. Fireflies dance among the grasses, their green and yellow lights flashing in a charming light show, giving the night a magical feel. Their living glow lights up the darkness and draws the attention of other creatures in a careful interaction between light and life. Every creature in this night web plays a specific role, from the smallest insects to the largest mammals. Their fates are tied together in a complex network of relationships. This network defines the Cerrado and ensures that life continues despite the challenges of the night. In this world without humans, only the laws of nature rule, and night creatures continue to play their roles without interference. The rhythms of the night repeat generation after generation. Every behavior and every sound is the result of thousands of years of survival and getting used to things. Every skill and every sense has been perfected over time to fit the challenges of darkness and give their owners a chance to survive. Night here isn't a time for rest, but a stage for activity and interaction where every creature tries to survive in a never-ending competition. As dawn gets closer, the night creatures start to go back to their hiding spots, leaving room for the day creatures to take their turn in the cycle of life. The cycle of life in the Cerrado continues without stopping, each creature passing the torch to the next in endless harmony. This unique ecosystem is a testament to nature's strength and beauty, where its greatest secrets are revealed in the shadows of the night. When the first rays of sun touch the savanna, the Cerrado whispers its secrets, as if thanking the night for its wonderful symphony. The wonders of the night remain etched in the earth's memory, a reminder that life never stops, and every night holds a new story waiting to be told. Under the swaying grasses, where the first light of dawn touches the golden savanna tops, a story unseen by the naked eye begins. Here, in the heart of the Cerrado, swarms of tiny creatures live, working tirelessly, building the foundation of life in complete silence, and between the tangled roots, swarms of termites and small beetles move, digging complex tunnels and building underground castles. These tunnels are not just shelters, they are the arteries of life that aerate the soil and allow water and air to reach deep into the earth, giving plants a chance to grow in a harsh environment. With the first rays of dawn on the savanna, bees and butterflies wake from their night's sleep. They emerge from their hiding places, fluttering their wings in the cool air, and begin their journey in search of nectar. Their delicate wings shimmer in the golden light, and they move lightly between the wildflowers, each one carrying a message of life from one flower to another. They drink nectar, and cover their bodies with pollen, becoming living bridges that connect distant plants, ensuring the continuation of genetic diversity in the savanna. With each visit, these pollinators help transfer genes between plants, supporting the survival of species in the face of drought and seasonal fires. Thanks to them, wildflowers bloom year after year, and seeds spread in the wind, bringing new life. The shrubs and tall trees that define the Cerrado depend on these small creatures for their survival, as they ensure the renewal of plant cover despite the harsh climate. Without these insects, the vibrant fabric of the Cerrado would unravel, and the delicate web of relationships between creatures would collapse. Hidden in the fallen leaves, armies of ants march in endless lines. Some tend to aphids, collecting sweet honeydew in a complex give-and-take relationship. Others go on organized campaigns to collect leaves and break down decaying wood, turning dead organic matter into new nutrients. In every corner, plant remains turn into fertile soil thanks to the work of these busy creatures. Beetles and termites, with their unique ability to digest tough plant fibers, speed up the decomposition cycle, returning nutrients to the earth. Every bit of organic matter turns into new food, supporting plant growth and feeding life above ground. Their diligent work supports the growth of the resilient Cerrado plants, which defy drought and fires and continue to thrive. Every movement, every ant carrying a piece of leaf, every beetle digging in the wood, contributes to the great cycle of life that connects every creature in this ecosystem. Insects are also the foundation of the complex food web in the Cerrado. They are the starting point from which life chains begin. Grasshoppers and crickets feed on tough grasses, turning the solar energy stored in plants into food for other animals. Above, dragonflies patrol the sky, watching carefully, using their sharp eyesight and fast wings to hunt other flying insects in a flash. The huge numbers of insects attract specialized predators, like spiders who are masters of camouflage, waiting patiently among the grasses to catch their prey, and birds that swoop down at lightning speed, catching insects in the air or among branches, feeding their young with what they gather from this small world. Amphibians like frogs emerge at dusk, watching the shadows and waiting for unsuspecting prey, relying on their quick movements and sticky tongues. Even the strong armadillo, with its keen sense of smell, digs the ground in search of insect larvae, and the elusive maned wolf adds insects to its varied diet, taking advantage of their abundance in lean times. Every chirp, buzz, and flutter of a wing weaves a thread in the living fabric of the Cerrado. From pollination to decomposition, from soil building to feeding predators, the work of these creatures never stops. Insects feed creatures big and small, connecting all levels of the food chain, from the smallest birds to the largest mammals. At every moment, these creatures work non-stop, maintaining the balance of the ecosystem and preventing its collapse in the face of sudden changes. In the world of the Cerrado, even the smallest life shapes the destiny of all. Every ant, every larva, every wing fluttering in the wind is a secret engineer in building this magical world, where the greatness of nature is revealed in its finest details. Underneath the huge grassy plains and scattered trees, a hidden world beats with life, the rivers, streams, and wet areas of the Cerrado. Here in the middle of this wild land, water and land mix to make a lively network of life that you can only see if you look very closely. These waterways wind their way through the savanna, feeding the land and supporting a special water community. Every stream and every river is like a vein that pumps life into the soil, giving plants and animals a chance to live in a place that is always changing. The clear streams start their journey in the high springs, where the first raindrops gather, flowing over smooth stones, getting tangled among roots that reach out for wetness. Here, the endless water cycle begins. Rain soaks into the ground, feeds the streams, and comes back again through evaporation and clouds. As the water gets stronger, it forms complex river networks, each one a sparkling ribbon that supports an amazing variety of life. These networks branch out, get tangled, and create countless homes, from shallow ponds to mysterious deep places. Along their banks, green water plants sway gently with the current, emerald water lilies and delicate bladderworts which catch tiny insects in their clear traps, and sprawling floating fern mats which form small islands on the water's surface provide a safe place for small creatures from predators. Their leaves and stems provide shelter for countless creatures, filtering sunlight and adding oxygen to the water, creating an oxygen-rich environment that supports endless life. Below the surface, fish of every shape and color glide through the cold currents. Some are small and clear, hiding among the plants, while others are big and strong, ruling the deep. The armored cascudo fish, with its bony plates and suction mouth, sticks to submerged rocks, eating algae, cleaning the rocks and stopping harmful algae from building up, keeping the ecosystem balanced. Schools of silver and red tetrafish flash as they dance among the plants, moving together in an amazing way, confusing predators and increasing their chances of survival. While the electric knife fish glides silently through the shadows, sensing the world through gentle pulses it sends into the water, it finds prey and dangers even on the darkest nights. Catfish hide in the sandy bottoms, their whiskers searching for hidden bits of food, playing the role of cleaner in this world, eating leftovers and keeping the water clean. Every species, from the small lambari fish to the huge wolffish, plays a vital role in the delicate balance of this water world. Predators control the number of prey, and prey eat plants and algae in an endless cycle of life and death. Amphibians also thrive in this water world, connecting land and water, laying their eggs in shallow ponds and singing their songs on wet nights. Frogs and toads, decorated with vibrant patterns, cling to reeds and water lilies, waiting for flying insects, and announcing their presence with their unique sounds. Some, like the glass frog, are almost clear, and their beating hearts are visible under their skin, a sight that reminds us of life's fragility and wonder. And others, like the red-eyed tree frog, jump between the banks, their calls echoing across the water at dusk, announcing the start of the night. Salamanders and Sicilians hide in the muddy banks, only appearing when the streams swell due to the rains, coming out to feed and reproduce, then returning to their hiding places until the next season. Above the waterline, dragonflies hover over the surface, their wings catching the sunlight, chasing small insects and laying their eggs in the water, starting a new life cycle. Water snails leave slow trails across submerged leaves, while small crustaceans dance among the roots, cleaning up plant remains and recycling nutrients in the ecosystem. Every ripple, every swirl supports a web of life that stretches from the smallest algae to the biggest predators. Algae make oxygen and feed tiny creatures, which in turn become food for small fish, and so the chain continues without end. These rivers and streams are more than just waterways. They are the lifeblood of the Cerrado, carrying nutrients, moving seeds, connecting different habitats, and giving life to everyone who depends on them. Their continuous flow connects the far corners of the savannah, feeding plants and animals alike, and ensuring the cycle of life continues even in the toughest conditions. Through dry times and floods, the water wonders of the Cerrado continue, a testament to the strength and beauty of this hidden flowing world. In every drop of water, a story of life, and in every wave, a promise of continued life in the heart of the wild. In the vast plains of the Cerrado, time isn't measured by months, but by the rhythm of the seasons. Here the cycle of life truly shines. The amazing change between very dry times and life-giving rains turns cracked earth into lush green fields. Every year these old rhythms create a beautiful change that shapes every living thing in the savannah. From the smallest bugs to the biggest mammals, everyone is affected by this change. As the dry season arrives, the grasslands turn golden and brittle and plants go to sleep, waiting for the coming rains. Water sources shrink, rivers get smaller, and their banks are exposed to the harsh sun, forcing animals to look for new water. Dust blows with the breeze, and the air crackles with dry seeds and leaves, creating a scene of quiet life, waiting for change. In this time of scarcity, many animals begin their quiet journeys, heading to areas that still have some moisture. Herds of pampas deer and armadillos move toward the last remaining streams, following the smell of moisture on a journey to find life. And birds, like the graceful swallow, fly across the savanna looking for greener places. Plants respond with amazing toughness, adapting to the changing conditions. The leaves of shrubs and deep-rooted trees fall off to save water, and their branches appear as shadows against the sky, a scene that shows nature's power. Underground bulbs and seeds stay hidden, waiting for the promise of rain, ready to burst with life at the first drop of water. The special kinds of plants in the Cerrado, which are used to fires, get ready for their moment. When lightning strikes the sky, natural fires sweep through the land, clearing old growth and making the soil rich with ash, creating a new environment for life. Then, as if answering an ancient call, the rains arrive, bringing life back to the land. Thunderclouds gather and burst, soaking the earth with new life, bringing every corner of the savanna back to life. Rivers swell, new ponds appear, and the grasslands turn into a lively green carpet, a scene that shows life being renewed. Seeds that have been hiding under the surface wake up and grow, starting a new cycle of life. Flowers bloom in amazing waves, purple ipe flowers, golden yellow trumpet trees, and a carpet of wildflowers that attract pollinators from everywhere, creating a scene of colors and life. Animal life bursts forth in response as animals come out of hiding to enjoy the new abundance. Frogs and toads appear in a chorus, filling the nights with their sounds, creating a symphony of life. Capybaras and tapirs roam freely, eating tender new shoots, enjoying the new plenty. Migratory birds return in flocks, their feathers shining in the sunlight as they nest and raise their young, adding beauty to the scene. Insects multiply in huge numbers, becoming a feast for lizards, birds, and amphibians alike, creating a delicate balance in the ecosystem. Predators also feel this rhythm, as maned wolves and spotted jaguars follow the renewed herds, their sharp senses adapting to the changing patterns of prey. Maned wolves and spotted jaguars follow the renewed herds, their sharp senses adapting to the changing patterns of prey, creating a scene of hunting and survival. The entire ecosystem is full of energy, and every creature plays its part in this great seasonal dance where animals and plants interact in perfect harmony. Through droughts and heavy rains, fire and floods, the Cerrado stands strong, a living testament to adaptation, toughness, and the endless cycle of life, showing nature's power in facing challenges. Here, the changing seasons are not just a background, but the heartbeat of a world always renewing itself, where the cycle of life is seen in its most beautiful form, creating a scene of beauty and variety. Under the vast sky and wide-open grasslands of the Cerrado, there's a secret life that's carefully woven. These are tiny habitats where whole worlds unfold on a small scale. These hidden worlds, often overlooked, are like the beating heart of the savanna. They are where unique species live and sensitive interactions happen that support the ecosystem from top to bottom. In the cool shade under just one termite mound, a busy city thrives. Termites, who are amazing builders, create complex tunnels and rooms that control temperature and moisture. They provide shelter not just for themselves, but for countless other creatures. Tiny beetles and springtails and predatory ants move through these paths, each playing a part in recycling nutrients and keeping life balanced underground. Just a few steps away, a fallen tree trunk becomes a living castle. Moss and fungi cover its surface, soaking up moisture from the morning dew. Here, the hard-to-spot Cerrado glass frogs hide among the lichens. Their clear skin shimmers in the filtered light. Tiny spiders weave delicate webs between the cracks in the bark. They wait for unsuspecting prey, while armored millipedes quietly slide through the leaf litter. They break down decaying wood into rich soil that helps the savanna grow. In the shallow pools left by the rainy seasons, these spring pools become nurseries for life. Rare amphibian larvae swim in the water, eating algae alongside tiny water insects. Water beetles roam these mini-lakes. Their sleek bodies are made for fast movement, while dragonfly larvae hide under the surface. They are ready to ambush passing prey. When the water goes away, tough seeds and sleeping eggs wait patiently. They're ready for life when the rains return. At the bottom of rocky outcrops, tiny forests take root in cracks and crevices. Succulent plants store precious water in their thick leaves, providing food for special snails and quick geckos. Here, brightly coloured butterflies sip nectar from hidden flowers. Meanwhile, leaf-cutter ants march in a line, gathering leaf pieces to feed their underground fungus gardens. Even a single bromeliad plant, perched in a twisted tree branch, holds a whole universe within its curved leaves. Rainwater collects, forming a small pool where mosquito larvae wiggle and tiny crustaceans filter organic bits. Tree frogs lay their eggs in this protected spot, and predatory beetles roam the water's surface, forming a web of interactions that show how complex the Cerrado itself is. These tiny habitats, even though they are small, are vital threads in the savanna's big picture. Each one is a safe place for rare and special life forms, a testament to the amazing variety in the Cerrado and the complex connections that link all living things. In these hidden worlds, a story of survival, adaptation, and depending on each other unfolds every day. It's a reminder that even the smallest corners of nature hold wonders beyond imagination. Under the vast skies of the Cerrado and its wide open fields, fire plays a very important and changing role. Unlike many other ecosystems, the Cerrado grew with fire, making it a natural and needed force to keep its many different kinds of life and its natural balance. Fires spread across the savanna, lit by lightning strikes during the dry season. These fires, even though they are strong, are part of the natural cycle as they clear out old plants and make way for new growth. The heat and smoke cause a wonderful reaction in the plants and animals of the Cerrado. Many plants in the Cerrado are fire-resistant, which means they have learned to live with fires and even grow well after them. The bark of trees gets thicker to protect the important parts from the hot temperatures, while grass types have grown deep root systems that let them grow back quickly. The fire-resistant seeds of some plants stay hidden in the soil, waiting for the heat to break their tough shells and start a new life cycle. The effects of fire show a landscape full of life. The rich ash left behind makes the soil new again, causing a burst of growth that brings plant-eating animals and then their hunters. Fresh green shoots quickly spread across the burned ground, showing how strong and adaptable the plant life in the Cerrado is. Animals have also learned ways to deal with fire and use it. Animals that dig, like armadillos and some rodents, go underground, safe from the fires above. Birds of prey, like the caracara, fly in the sky, taking advantage of the small mammals and insects running away. Even the giant anteater, with its thick fur, can handle the heat and comes out to eat the insects that appear after the fire. Insects play a key role in the ecosystem after a fire. Fire-adapted beetles find the heat and smoke and arrive to lay their eggs in the recently burned wood. These larvae then help break down the burned remains, putting nutrients back into the environment. Fire also helps control foreign species and keeps the delicate balance of life in the Cerrado. Without regular fires, woody plants and foreign grasses can take over, competing with the local species that are a part of the ecosystem's health. The regular nature of fire in the Cerrado is a strong reminder of how all life is connected. It is a force of destruction and new life, shaping the land and pushing the growth of its inhabitants. Through fire, the Cerrado shows its strength, always changing and growing well in the face of problems. In this dance of flames, the true power of the Cerrado is shown, an ecosystem that has turned a natural force into a key part of its survival, showing the amazing ability of life to change in one of the world's most special savannas. As the fiery glow of day turns into the cool embrace of night, a new set of creatures wakes up under the vast Cerrado canopy. In the quiet after the flames, amphibians and reptiles come out from their secret hiding spots, turning the savanna into a world of shadows, scales, and silent drama. The humid air that settles after dusk is a signal for tree frogs with their glassy eyes and bright colours to begin their nightly chorus. Their calls spread across ponds and swamps. Each note is a claim to a territory or a hopeful call for a mate. Some, like the burrowing horned frog, stay camouflaged on the sandy ground, their wide mouths ready to snap shut on an unsuspecting meal. Stealthy geckos and slithering snakes glide through the underbrush, their movements almost invisible to most creatures. The snakes of the Cerrado, from the slender vine snake to the mighty rattlesnake, rely on the cover of darkness to hunt. Their heat-sensing pits and forked tongues help them find frogs, rodents, and insects, playing a key role in balancing the ecosystem's food web. Lizards, like the active nocturnal tegu, come out of cracks to look for food. Their sharp sense of smell guides them to fallen fruit, eggs, or smaller creatures. These reptiles adapt to the changing temperatures of the savanna, slowing their metabolism as temperatures drop, saving energy until the next hunt. Amphibians, with their sensitive skin, thrive in the humidity of the Cerrado night. Some species, like the paradoxical frog, go through amazing changes as they grow, their bodies adapting to changing water levels and seasonal cycles, while others, like tiny frogs living among fallen leaves, blend perfectly with the forest floor, avoiding predators and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The nocturnal world of the Cerrado is also a stage for delicate interactions. Predatory snakes keep frog populations in check, while amphibians help control insect numbers, preventing outbreaks that could upset the delicate balance of life. Even the eggs and larvae of these creatures become vital food for other nocturnal beings, weaving a complex web of interdependence. Under the moonlight, the amphibians and reptiles of the Cerrado show amazing adaptations. Camouflage, venom, heat sensing, and specialized calls all evolve to survive and thrive in this challenging environment. Their nocturnal activities, though hidden from most eyes, are essential threads in the savanna's fabric, ensuring the continued health of this amazing ecosystem. In the quiet hours before dawn, as the first lights touch the horizon, these elusive creatures retreat back to their shelters, leaving behind only footprints in the dew and the faint echo of their songs, a silent promise to return with the next nightfall. Underneath the surface of the vast Cerrado plains and its scattered trees, a huge and complex web of life thrives with hidden connections. Every plant, insect, bird, and animal is woven into a living fabric, each depending on the others in small but important ways. At dawn, capybaras munch on dewy grass. As they chew, seeds stick to their fur or pass through their bodies, sprouting wherever they land. These seeds, in turn, are the base of the Cerrado's plant community, feeding plant-eaters from tiny rodents to the majestic maned wolves. Above-ground termite mounds, which are like amazing buildings, are more than just homes. They help air get into the soil, letting roots breathe and rainwater soak in deep. Anteaters wander around these mounds, their long tongues darting in and out, keeping termite numbers in check and stopping them from eating too many plant roots. In the shade of the trees, fruit-bearing trees attract toucans and parrots, whose strong beaks crack open tough shells. As these birds eat, they spread seeds far and wide, helping the forest and savanna grow again. And in doing so, they provide food for monkeys and bats, who also become accidental gardeners as they travel. The web goes even further. Armadillos dig for insects, and their burrows offer cool shelters for snakes, lizards, and even small owls during the midday heat. In the fallen leaves, dung beetles roll the waste of large mammals, putting nutrients back into the soil, which helps the next generation of plants grow. Predators quietly move through these webs. The jaguar, the biggest hunter, keeps the numbers of plant-eaters balanced. When it hunts, scavengers like vultures and foxes arrive, making sure nothing goes to waste. Even after death, the cycle continues. Bones and remains feed fungi, which break down matter and return important minerals to the earth. Teamwork is everywhere. Some ants fiercely guard the cecropia trees where they live, attacking leaf-eating insects and trimming competing plants. In return, the tree provides shelter and sweet sap. Orchids and bees share a delicate dance. The orchid's special shape matches the bee's body, making sure pollination happens with every visit. Underwater, fish eat algae growing on submerged roots, keeping the waterways clean and healthy. Turtles bask nearby, their movements stirring up nutrients that feed aquatic plants and tiny bugs. The balance is delicate. If one thread breaks, a missing pollinator, a predator driven away, the effects spread outwards. Insect numbers can explode, choking out crops and plants. Without grazing animals, grasses would choke out young trees, changing the look of the savanna. Yet, when everything works together, the cerrado thrives, a living web that breathes with mutual dependence, toughness, and renewal. Here, every life is a link in the chain, and every interaction is proof of the power of connection. In the quiet spaces between the trees and beneath the grass, the invisible threads of life's web remain strong, keeping one of the world's richest and most complex ecosystems alive. As dawn breaks over the vast Cerrado, a new chapter begins, one shaped by the quest for understanding, the struggle for survival, and the promise of renewal. In the silence beneath the canopy and across the endless meadows, the future is written not just by wind and rain, but by the quiet work of science and the resilience of nature itself. Hidden beneath the soil, sensors record the secret dance of moisture and roots, revealing the secrets of plant survival through long, dry seasons. In the sky, satellite eyes map the changing mosaic of forests, rivers, and savannas, tracking every shift in color and pattern. These silent sentinels gather vital clues, helping researchers uncover how the cerrado breathes, grows, and recovers. Deep within the thickets, genetic whispers pass from plant to plant. Scientists unravel these messages, seeking the keys to resilience, the genes that allow ancient trees and tiny flowers to withstand drought, fire, and disease. In the rivers and streams, water samples are analyzed, revealing the unseen life that sustains fish, amphibians, and all who depend on clean, flowing water. Yet even with growing knowledge, the cerrado faces rising challenges. Expanding farmlands carve new scars across the landscape. River levels drop in the dry season, choked by distant dams and thirsty crops. The web of life grows thinner as species lose their homes and connections are severed one by one. But hope endures, woven into the very fabric of the cerrado. New reserves protect vital habitats, creating safe havens for jaguars, giant anteaters, and the rarest orchids. Corridors of native plants reconnect fragmented lands, allowing animals to roam and plants to spread their seeds. Fire management, guided by centuries-old wisdom and cutting-edge science, restores balance to both grasslands and forests. Research teams monitor the return of species once thought lost. Their tracks and calls a silent testament to what is possible. In the soil, signs of recovery emerge. New shoots, richer earth, and the return of pollinators. Every small victory is a thread of hope, strengthening the web of life for generations to come. The future of the cerrado is unwritten, its destiny tied to the choices of today. But beneath every blade of grass and in every drop of water, the potential for renewal remains. As science illuminates the unseen, and as nature responds with resilience, the cerrado stands ready, not just as a relic of the past, but as a living promise for the world's future.